Okay, so we have this recording. Okay, Bethany, Lucia, Vanessa, can you guys hear us?
Yeah. Yes,
Perfect.
I can.
Yes.
Hear you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we're all ready.
So do I just say the meeting's starting?
Let's see.
Call to order. Call to order.
Okay, I'm going to do roll call. Vice Chair Kyle Conrad.
Here.
Reese Adams. Here. Erica Kriesel. Here. Leah Moran.
Here.
Stacy Potash is not present. Shane Smith is not present. We have our new alternate member, Caro Johnson. Is that
Here.
Her name's, she let me shorten her name. It was
It's Carolina.
Catalina. Okay. Council member Chelsea Noonenkamp.
Present.
And Englewood Public School Liaison Emily Ancona may be late today. Excused, we have Chair Martin Gilmore. Staff, we have Director Christina Underhill. Library and Cultural Arts Manager Bethany Lafferty. Event Supervisor Tony Arnoldy. And we have Lucia Magnuson and Vanessa Davis with Communications. Okay.
So recognition of public, do we have any public comments tonight?
We do not.
So then Mural?
Do we want to do approval of minutes or you want to do
Oh,
that
yeah, approval.
afterwards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody want to approve the minutes from last night?
I move we approve the January 10th minutes.
I can second that.
All right, thank you. And then do a vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mural, new business. Looks like Vanessa. Or Lucia.
It'll be both of us.
It'll be.
Okay. Hopefully you can see our presentation. There it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Vanessa, take it away.
Okay. So these murals were part of a broader city campaign called Uniquely Englewood. We were tasked with kind of branding the city last year and really creating a different campaign to highlight what's great about Englewood. And through this, it was a process. We all came together. And we came up with Uniquely Englewood. So Uniquely Englewood really is about celebrating what makes Englewood so great. And one of the many things that make Englewood great is all the public art that we have in the city. We really are so fortunate to have so much public art, from the different murals along South Broadway to the Swedish Horse Project, which was part of the Cultural Arts Commission a couple of years ago. It's just very fortunate to have a city that cares so much about art. And so with Uniquely Englewood, it really also ties into our wayfinding and placemaking part of our strategic plan. And that's really giving the city a look and a feel. And with that, an arm of Uniquely Englewood is kind of murals and doing some art that really ties back into our wayfinding and placemaking and also celebrating the things that make Englewood unique.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. I feel so bad. My internet is just lagging. So like speak up if I'm cutting in and out at all. With Uniquely Englewood, our goal is to make 2 murals. We established this back in 2023. We came to you guys in the summer just seeing if there was any funding available for these murals, but we've made a little bit of progress as we drifted this over to 2024, just knowing we just needed a little bit more time to put everything together and make it more of a robust campaign throughout the summer and involve the community with these art pieces. The first project that we were proposing is an intern project. So we would gather up all of our and have a painting day where we would make this uniquely Englewood mural over in the front of the city center or the civic center. We presented this to EAF in August before they were dissolved.
Dissolve.
But they approved it. Yeah, they approved it. We just have to make sure that with the transfer of ownership that we're still okay with this location. But they did approve the project. So this would be right in front. It would be close to the amphitheater. Hopefully good walkability. People will see it, very eye-catching. Here are the mural concepts. We have two options. We could do both. We could do only one. Option one is just blocking pieces with the uniquely Englewood colors. The iconic Sherilyn grass Gothic line on there, and then since 1903 our establishment. The second option would be just like a Polaroid picture that people could use to take some selfies. And just have a nice little backdrop. So when we have events in those locations, people have a photo opportunity spot. For installation and display for this project, it's going to be permanent. We're thinking northeast facing wall in the Civic Center. Staff will be installing the artwork. And then hopefully we can install it in June, so it's available before the 2024 Sunset Concert Series. As far as cost went up a little bit just because we wanted to make sure that we added some primer onto this cost list, but also in order to make our lives a little bit easier, adding some stencils that we can use with that uniquely Englewood logo, the wooden nook details. That way we can be a little bit more precise and it's not too much of a burden on the interns and for the precision of drawing things out. And for 32 is cost of materials. Life cycle of these murals is typically 5 years. We seal that up, and after the 5 years, it'd be $100 to reseal and make sure everything is looking bright, shiny, and new. Artist fees is $0 because we design them ourselves, and the installation cost is just staff time. For next steps for the intern project mural, we just want to make sure that we have the budget to make this happen. I'll create the mural installation plan, and this is going to include step-by-step, including instructions and daily tasks for each for the interns. We'll decide on an installation day with leadership, schedule it on everyone's calendar so everyone knows what's happening. We'll gather the supplies for installation. Vanessa and I will prime the area for the mural, and then installation will occur in June of 2024. So that's the first one. Second one's a little bit juicier. 3400 block mural. We wanted to create a piece that would have just a big impact on the community, as 3400 block is a great place to have that. We have some concepts in mind as we've been curating our ideas over the past year. So the first one would just be open to artist submissions. We just hire a muralist, explain our idea, explain what uniquely Englewood is, and they create the concept for us. The second one would be a tiled piece in collaboration with Glaze and Phase. I've been talking to the owner of Glaze and Phase in South Englewood. We're able to have hand-painted murals by the tiles by the community. And then we can install those in the defined locations on the 3400 block. You'll see that in a second. And again, more of a community collaboration piece, engaging them at events, or if they don't have time to go to events, they can go to Glaze and Phase, paint their tile, she will fire it, and then we'll have everything ready to install by the 2024 block party. The third option is if we wanted to do the tiled concept with an artist collaboration, so still have that piece of getting the tiles from the community, but have it be a larger piece that fits in with an artist vision, as you can see in the third slide. So options and ideas being thrown out. So that's number one for questions and getting your guidance, but I'll come back to that with next steps. For proposed locations, we have the East Paseo. There's a north-facing wall and a south-facing wall. One has any and all bikes, one has Katrina. It's a based by the EDDA, so they put a lot of effort into just making sure that everything looked fresh in the area, but it's still looking a little blank. But this is our proposed locations for this mural that hopefully can be installed for the block party. Vanessa and I went out and we did an estimation of how big it can be for the south-facing wall. For the tiled piece, there's a section of this wall that there's a different brick layer. So we'll have to stay on either side of the brick layer. So for the tiled mural, it'd be 10 by 8 feet. If we wanted to just do a painted mural and not do the tiles, we can go up to 20 feet by 9 feet and dip into that pipe that's up there. For the north facing wall, between these pink columns, it's 14 by 8 feet. And obviously there's that tubing that's up there. So we stayed within that area. If we just wanted a painted mural, we can go higher than that, so it'd be taller. And it would be 14 by 11 feet for a painted mural in that area. For installation and display, it would be a permanent display around the 3400 block. Who would be installing it would be either be a muralist or a tile installer, depending on the concept you guys like. And if we can acquire funding, we would like it to be installed during the 2024 block party. For maintenance and conservation, so if we're doing tiles, glaze, firing, it's $1,000 with glaze and face. Installation estimate is either between $2,000 to $6,300, depending on which wall we choose and how big it will be. So the total is a range of $3,000 to $7,300. In terms of tile stability, they can last up to 50 years. In the wall. I am proposing $100 a year for replacement if there's tiles that are cracked, if people damage them. And then if we needed to fix grout and regrout those, just $100 per year. For the tiled mural and for the intern project, my question to CAC is there any opportunities in regards to funding, either through CAC or do you know of any grant opportunities that we can apply for to help us with the cost of in terms of this tiled mural, and I'll go through the painted mural. For the tiled mural, we're asking for $8,000 just to make sure that we're covering the costs. That can vary depending on the location and the size. But if funding's not available in 2024, we'll try to pool funding from different departments to make this happen. And then for the muralist, obviously everything's TBD on materials and life cycle, depending on what the artist creates. Based off of our conversations that we had last year and your recommendations for a cost for a mural, we're asking for $10,000 for a muralist if we want to go that route. If funding's not available in 2024 because this is a larger budget, we can try to pull funding from different departments, or we can make sure to solidify funding in the 2025 budget. So we would go through, hopefully, with the intern project this year, and then 2025 will for sure make this happen. For the 3400 block, next steps that we have is determine budget and decide on concept, which is what we're hoping to get some guidance from you guys today. Get approval from the mural for EDDA and NEL bikes and Katrina. I spoke to Hillary last year. She was all for revitalizing that area. And then from there, we'll create the mural implementation and installation plan. I just wanted to make sure before we go to any and all bikes and Katrina, we have a solidified plan in terms of budget and mural concept to go to them with. And then depending on the mural option, we'll either recruit an artist or gather tiles and create a community engagement plan. And I know that was a ton. And we have a lot of directions to go, but what are your guys' initial thoughts?
What's the intern, like, who are the interns? What's the intern project?
So each year, each department has an intern in their department, and they recruit them for the summer. So it's recent grads or people still in, and then from there, they have like team building days, they have opportunity lunches, and they just there. So I think this would be a great opportunity to get them together to work on something hands-on for the city.
That's cool.
I was gonna say though, that seems like, because it's such a clear print, that's something that would probably be really easy to do through a vinyl wrap versus a mural. Because you could just do a vinyl wrap and it's a print, which it's not to say you should do it, but it's probably a similar cost unless you're really, you feel like the team building for your interns and mural painting is the goal.
Yeah.
I guess.
I feel
What is
like
the long?
I haven't heard of vinyl wraps.
They're really good for graphics. So groups do vinyl wraps or they do mural, more traditional painted murals. There's pros and cons of both. I still like traditional murals for artists who want to paint their own mural on a building, but vinyl wraps, especially if it's a graphic design like what you all have done, you can just send that over and get the vinyl wrap put on the wall. It's just, and it's probably maybe not absolutely in the same cost, but probably similar cost to what they present.
Okay.
Since you already have.
Yeah,
the
we
design.
can look into that.
But to your point, if the goal is team building.
If the goal is team building and interns, I don't want to take away from team building mural project for interns. If the goal is you want your design for the picture taking for the concert series, it might be worth comparing a vinyl wrap to intern time because it might be the same and the vinyl wrap might be a little bit easier with the type of design that you showed us because it's so graphic.
Okay.
You know?
Our vinyl wraps,
Yeah,
and we can do more. We can do more research on the vinyl wraps, but we'd also have to take in like longevity, the type of wall. I know we've done them inside at the Englewood Recreation Center recently, but also definitely taking in to consideration just.
Yeah, they can be done. I mean, that's a fair point. They can be done outside, and I do think they have similar longevity to murals, so that's less of a worry, but the building, like what you're putting it onto matters. But again, if it's if team building's the goal, then.
Do you, yeah.
I think that they have 1 year warranty and then they typically stay 5 to 7 years. Outside.
This is different than the pieces, right?
What's the size on the one that would go on this building?
It is, hold on, let me grab it.
It's 10 by 20, right? The horizontal one.
Yeah, I can show it again too. We have 18 by 8 for that long one and 8 by 6 for the for the Polaroid one.
It might be worth getting a price on the larger one because that's a big piece. It might be actually worth getting a vinyl price on that one. Like vinyl on, even vinyl on one and painting.
Okay.
It might be worth just looking into, because I suspect it'll be pricey, that size.
Do we,
Yeah,
as a group, do we have a preference on design between the two designs?
No.
I like
I'll
to
share it.
And for the quotes on those, who is, so there's obviously fast signs that are here, but what was the other one that you talked about last time? That's
Ink Monster.
Ink Monster, yeah.
No E, just R. They were the ones I went and talked to
Monster.
about the warranty.
I really enjoy the 1903, but I also, the uniquely Englewood seems more like a picture background, so both are fun to me, so I don't, yeah, they're both neat.
Well, that picture one's kind of cool, because like if you have musicians or something, you could make a routine of like putting them in front to take a picture and make the same spot, like all that, you know.
Yeah.
I think that would be, if it were to be done by interns, that one seems easier.
Totally.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's why we created another option,
Yeah.
just in case.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
And
leaning
then-
more towards option 2.
Yeah.
So,
Unless it's super cheap to wrap a big mural.
Right.
right.
I think for simplicity, option 2 is preferred, but I really like the cityscape in the first one.
Yeah, I like the 1903 in the cityscape, but I do think for the backdrop, if like the goal is people taking pictures, number 2 makes more sense.
Yeah.
One thing that I've also been noodling around with is, I mean, we could have this Polaroid option at the Civic Center, and then maybe we have the bigger mural. I know that we were looking at the map, and we can just like keep building off of these uniquely Englewood murals. So that's another location. If we wanted a different city facility, we could add that there.
Yeah, I don't
Like that
think it'll
idea.
go unused.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, keep the design for sure.
So maybe let them make the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, you all make the decision.
Okay.
And I guess, Christina, can this all come out of the
Wayfinding?
Wayfinding
So that's kind of
money?
part of communications budget too, so they're playing in that as well. It's something we can look at.
Because I thought there was more funding in that than in our budget that we needed to use within a certain amount of time. So I'm wondering if like the funding should come out of that first for this.
Yeah, we can do that. So Vanessa and Lucia, we can talk to Chris about utilizing some of that wayfinding that's been set aside for CAC funding to do some murals. I think that'd be a good
Okay.
fit for this project. So I think you would be funded if we do that.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's great.
perfect.
Cool.
That sounds wonderful.
But we'll probably vote next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you need to have us vote by?
Next meeting is completely fine because you guys meet monthly, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And then should we talk about number 2?
Yeah.
So number 2 with the tiles, my gut would be, it would be really cool to have tiles. That's something different in Englewood, and I love supporting a local business. But I do think it would be nice to have an artist from the area help with the concept, just because I think it'll be a little bit cleaner and I don't know, a little bit more detailed. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
Does Blaze and Phase have experience doing this?
yeah, that's a good question.
Like, do they have experience like creating a large format mural with?
No, this is a concept that I came across. A lot of schools do them. But I know we have such a good relationship with Glaze and Phase. Like she's down to have this concept fruition. So she hasn't done it, but she's here for the effort. Like she's She wants if we have the community paint their own. She wants to
And I
come to
think-
events, and then that way we can gather some tiles.
And are these mostly done indoors or are they done outdoors? Because I'm thinking of hail and some other challenges with.
There's a mix. There's a mix. So it really depends on, as you can see with the middle one, there's like a bumper border that they have like around it. I also put in just again maintenance just in case something happens, but tiles are pretty resilient to a lot of weather.
That's a cool idea.
I would be something different.
Do either of those businesses own what they're building?
And that's where
Hillary.
over at EDDA, she said Any and All Bikes does, from what I remember. But I'm getting that confirmed by her. I know that Any and All Bikes, if they were to do a mural on their side, which is that brick facing side, they want to incorporate bikes into it in some way. So that way, if we do that, we could collaborate with an artist for this tiled mural, incorporate bikes in some way, but uniquely Englewood feel with us. And it might be that this is still in preliminary phase and we need to like flush out a little bit more, but I just wanted to like make sure we had a good direction to go in.
Does anybody else have thoughts on that? Yeah,
I like it.
I love the idea of a tile mural with an artist, definitely supporting the business, being bike themed. That seems to like really have all elements and also create like a bike Englewood theme. I think it would be really cool.
Oh. Okay.
And I think
Sounds
again,
good.
funding.
That was like what, 8, you guys are asking 8 or 10?
I think 8 to 10 was the estimate,
8.
and it could be higher, right?
8 on the high end. Yeah.
8
For 8 for the tiled mural, like solely from the community, I was estimating around 8. But if there's going to be an artist collaboration piece to it, we want to make sure that that artist is paid. So I'm assuming that can range anything from like 5,000 to hire an artist to 10,000. But you guys, in your experience with muralists or artists, do you have any recommendations on what we should budget for if there is an artist collaboration piece to it?
I'm thinking like.
Does anybody have glaze and phase 2 art? Because if they could come up with something, maybe we can include that in the cost going toward them.
Yeah, I could ask her.
We have historically, we have done calls to the art community in Englewood and gotten some pretty neat artists as well. It feels like we could do a call for 4,000 and see what design ideas we comes back with, telling them that it's going to be a square tile, like telling them what the concept is and bike design.
There's gotta be at least one person.
Yep.
I'm sure. There's probably more than one actually who would be interested.
When
Okay.
is the block party this year?
August 24th.
Okay, so if we work our way back, if they want it installed for the block party?
That's the bigger
I-
challenge.
So EDDA is activating that Paseo again this year for the block party. So it's already gonna be pretty busy in that area, so I don't know if we want.
Like, I wouldn't say installing it during the block party, but if you want to
I think that was
install,
one of the things they
That's what it said
said.
on the slide.
or I thought it was installed for the block, like,
Oh.
in advance of the block party. What was your idea, guys?
So if it was being painted, it would be installed during so people could like watch it. But if it's the tile, that's different because tile installation I don't think is as exciting to watch as watching an artist paint their creation.
Because realistically, next month would be the approval of the money. And then between next month and the following would be the call to the artists, right? Then the call, we'd have to give a full month, so that would put us in May. And so then May, and then they'd have to do all that work on the tiles and the concept to have that ready for install. But I don't think that would happen. That might be too tight.
What about,
Maybe. It depends, because clay can take, I don't know how
yeah,
quickly they can
but
work
like,
with the artists.
and getting the tiles to the community and back, what if the painting of the tiles took place at the block party? And that was
Oh,
the,
yeah.
that was the activity.
That's how-
And like the artist could even put something on that square to like,
Coming soon.
coming soon, yeah, right?
Or we have like 24 other events that they could be painting tiles at.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely,
True.
I love that. And that's actually was like kind of one of our ideas, but then we're like, well, how cool would it be if it was like already up? But we were talking about Celebrate Englewood, the Sunset Concert Series, just different larger events that we do have throughout the summer as like potential times for these tiles to be painted. And Lucia's already been in contact with the owner of Glaze and Phase, who said she'd be happy to like come to these community events to let the community paint at them.
So I think in theory, by May or June, we would have an artist and hopefully the concept, and then anything after that, if they want to work with Tony to be at that, then they could.
Yeah, we have
City
neighborhood
painting.
nights twice a month.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
there's
totally.
a lot that
That's a
could
great way to-
knock off getting those done.
And I think that would be a cool like draw for the community too. Like come to the Sunset concert and paint your tile. Come to neighborhood night tonight and paint a tile. You know what I mean? Like that could be a bigger thing to draw people to the events to paint
Then
their
come see your tile at the block party.
Yeah.
But we might
Yeah,
want to
show up for that.
up the artist fee if we're going to have the artist be at a lot.
You could charge $5 a tile. People would pay it.
That's true. That's not a bad idea.
Could you approve the call tonight? Have to approve it next month if you're trying to go faster?
I mean, it's kind of hard to approve it without knowing the money is going to be approved. And I think we need to wait until we know that the budget is there to support it.
We've got it in the wayfinding placemaking, and that would fall into that category. So if you wanted to move forward and say that you support this, and we do have the funding in that outside of CAC funding.
If you think, yeah, I'm okay with that, because I think the sooner we get the call out, the better to get a design concept.
So we do have a list of local muralists, you know, from, I think it was the.
I don't think we need to do a cafe call. I think just in Englewood, like what we've
I was
done.
gonna say we could do just more of a,
I think a local
like,
call.
social media.
Yeah, like
type
what we've
thing.
done for the t-shirts and when we did like that interaction block party concept, like I think a call like that, a simple call to the city community artists saying like we're looking with somebody who's comfortable with a mural and working with tiles.
Yeah.
Because it's different, and creating a design and working with the community to help paint those tiles. Right? Am I getting the call?
Yeah, I don't have any experience with translating a mural to an individual tile, so that will be a very specific skill set that.
Or maybe easier because it's broken down already into your squares.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
just get your
it's the
squares
same.
like.
These are the squares, this is
Yeah.
me paint.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to work closely. I guess the other piece is they'd have to work with Glaze pretty closely, obviously on the tiles and what products they could use.
Probably like, depending on how many tiles there are, I'd probably like pick like 2 events to have it at, like, not like 10 tiles at this event, 10 tiles at this event,
Yeah.
just to like make sure it gets knocked out.
Because then celebrate.
Paint by numbers, it's the
Right.
same thing. Really.
Therapeutic.
I can show up and paint
Yeah.
a
It
tile,
is
one
very
color.
much like paint like numbers. Christina,
Yeah.
I can't tell if it was you who said that, but that's, yes, basically that would be the concept.
And the cool thing is the ones that aren't used, like for maybe the big things, so we can make smaller
It's true.
installations around town. Like maybe hang one on each floor, the rec center or library,
Frame them and put them, yeah.
done by your community type thing.
Could we go a little bit? I don't know. I think 4,000 should cover it. If 8,000 for materials and then 4,000 for the artist. Do we go? Or do we think we want to go to 5?
I feel like that's sufficient.
What if we do a call where we're requesting the price, like a
Yeah.
request for proposal type situation.
And see how much they come back
And they
with.
might come back and want to do it for much less than 4,000.
Yes.
Because they want to be part of this and just see what comes in and if.
Okay, yes, let's do that instead of putting out a number.
Okay.
Can I
So,
ask a question?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, is there supposed to be a theme for this? Is this a uniquely Englewood mural or is it just bikes?
We want it to be uniquely Englewood. So a part of uniquely Englewood is our branch of sustainability, which is why we kind of did like the bikes and tying bikes in. We have added so many bike paths and walkability and all of that. But this will definitely be like a celebration of our 3,400 block. And again, what really makes you Englewood unique. And one of our ideas is to limit the glaze colors so they kind of fall into those uniquely Englewood color palette to give it that cohesion.
And are you anticipating it including like the uniquely Englewood like logo and design, or is it kind of just the idea of Englewood?
I think it's kind of up to the artist. I think we would love maybe like a little hashtag uniquely Englewood in it, or if uniquely Englewood was displayed kind of like that Keep Oklahoma Friendly that we showed that had like a big bold font. And if they wanted to do something like that, we can definitely put that part in the call to artists to say we would be intrigued to see your ideas that incorporate uniquely Englewood. This is kind of its color palette. Also different things that make the city great, our bikeability, all the grass sculpture, Sherilyn, trolley and stuff like that, and really make it a celebration of Englewood because that's what we want this mural to be.
thanks.
Which that's pretty simple, because when we did the volunteer t-shirts, like it had to have the logo
I
in
think
it.
it's not gonna be hard to do a call and get an artist, and I love the idea of letting them tell us what they think it's gonna cost to do the project, and include in there that they'll be expected to be at the events.
Yeah,
Maybe Celebrate Englewood and the block party is the two big ones, and they're welcome to come to a concert series or something else if they have the ability.
Well, there might be something too that it's just talking with them they're like, this is all that needs to be done. So like we can still have an element of it there and they don't have to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much do we need to approve, at least 4,000 in funding?
No, I think we need to approve plus 10, or 8 plus the 4, 10 for this project,
10 for
right?
this one.
And then the other, what was it for the other project?
1,600.
16.
But it's, where's the funding? But
It's coming out, not out of CAC, there's a separate fund that we have in our capital program that would go to this.
Spend
Do we need to, how much of our spend would there be?
0.
So I guess we don't need to approve funding.
I would just approve that you, you can approve that you want to move forward funding this project.
Yeah.
Wayfinding.
I'd move forward. I would motion to move forward to fund it. I mean, it sounds like wayfinding is a good place for it, but like, I think we should remain flexible. If there's something that's outside of what wayfinding would make sense for our budget, because there's money in there for it.
I would second that. Do we need to add the artist? The third option.
We'll wait to see what artists come back with
Yeah.
and go from there.
Okay.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You guys are funded.
Thank you guys so much.
I was gonna be like, what did you do?
The money's gone.
I say
Sorry,
yes.
Martin.
Sorry, Martin.
Vanessa acts like it's Christmas. It's all like-
It's a cool idea.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it all come to life.
It's gonna be so fun.
Well, yay. Keep us in the
Awesome.
job, guys.
Great. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
So so creative crosswalks are next. And Christina, you might have more info, like where's the construction? Because there's construction on a crosswalk is my understanding, and that the thought is like, could we replace that crosswalk?
Yeah, do you have the intersection?
Yeah, the crosswalk at Girard and Broadway, they're going to be repaving it. I did have an engineer from Public Works reach out to me to get some more information. And I've reached out to him, but we still have not connected. EDDA has kind of presented a design.
Okay.
It really is, you know, their kind of their logo that they have, and it's the bright colors behind that EDDA. It's more just those colors.
Okay.
Just
Because right now it's spoons and forks, right? That's the
Purple.
spoon.
So it's that blue and purple one.
Like the majestic one.
It's
okay.
the one that MOA.
The one by the smoke shop.
Yeah.
By where? The smoke shop? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then would that one be, we're doing a whole new crosswalk, or is it out of maintenance because we're replacing the crosswalk that's being tore up by paving or being redone by paving?
So, I mean,
It'd be a brand new one.
yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at as brand new, not as maintenance at this point.
Right.
Okay, cool. Do we know how much we spent on those historically?
I think about 8,000 is what they were.
Like EDD is done, right?
And that's what we're still,
Okay.
because his email said that, he wanted information on how it was secured. So that's what I'm trying, we have not yet talked to find out if he's in.
It's in their scope, isn't it?
EDDAs. Yeah, so I meet with Hillary Portel next week. I will bring this up with her and see if it's something they plan to fund. And then all you'd be required to do at the next meeting, if they have to design, is just approve the design if you like it.
Sounds good.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out from Devin.
Yeah.
Okay, so then other questions, I guess, so that's all we can really do right now for crosswalks, so we'll, okay.
Yeah.
So then the next thing is placemaking and wayfinding projects, Dartmouth Mural, Oxford Underpass, and then Lightbox wraps. And I'm not sure where we're at on those.
So the Dartmouth mural, that's Santa Fe and Dartmouth.
And that's the one that is like a big deal.
Yeah,
because of
northeast corner side, to do something that makes sure you know you're coming into Englewood, so an Englewood logo of some sorts on there. So that could be another call that we do. Maybe we do 2 locally,
Yeah.
see if we can get a muralist to submit cost and a proposal for that. And then the Oxford Underpass, which one was that?
That's kind of a similar.
It's Oxford and Santa Fe, isn't it?
That's the same thing?
Next to Sam's, yeah.
It's next to Costco.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's where they did the sinkhole stuff.
Yes. Famous intersection.
I'm guessing that there may be a request for something similar on both of those. Is that the request?
That might be what that is.
I don't know, but I live next door to that Oxford Street, and that passage it's not a smooth wall. It has like a little bit of like a lining, so getting a mural on that would be difficult.
So the other place that's come up is here on Hampden, the walls that come down and then
Oh, yeah.
Hampden runs through, so where Chuck E. Cheese is on one side and the cute places on the other, is also doing something along those. It's been another request from city staff, like, oh, that'd be really nice to spruce that up and make it more lively.
Like
Just concrete
gateways.
weeds.
Yeah.
Into the city.
So that'd be another one. That's a massive project. So I'd almost try to knock out one mural, do like Santa Fe and Dartmouth, since that's 2 years in the making, trying to find something like that. And then look at these other locations and see what might be feasible. Because yeah, if it's a severely textured wall, it might be
I do love the idea of Oxford because I feel like that area is, well, I don't know, I'm biased. I live over near there and I do feel like there's a lot of traffic, and anything to like kind of slow it down and remind people they're in a town would be nice for the citizens who live in that area and cross Oxford on a regular basis. That maybe we start with the Dartmouth, maybe we just do a call for that one.
Yeah.
For the measurements, and then I think just uniquely Englewood, right? It's got to fall into that, or is it more open than
Not
that?
necessarily. I think it's looking for something that identifies when you come into Englewood.
Okay.
So uniquely Englewood, I think, makes sense on buildings and throughout the city.
So an Englewood themed, inspired, welcome to Englewood mural, and we can do the call around that for the Dartmouth. And see what folks come back
See what
with.
comes in. And then we'll figure out funding and how much.
I wanna look, because I think you guys, somebody had like a pretty specific idea of where they wanted it, like what that's, so that being said, we probably would know the size.
We can
Give
get
the
the
size.
exact dimensions of what will fit in that space easily.
Yeah.
And it's city maintained too. Our park staff maintain the landscaping right there, so from an access point, we'd be able to give the artists access much easier, and it's off the road. It's up.
Yeah.
And I think the other question though is on Oxford or on the Chuck E. Cheese, like on the submit, is if we need to spend that wayfinding money, should we be doing those calls this year
Sure, yeah.
to get those done for you this summer? Because essentially it would hopefully be summer, you know?
Right.
So I think we should approve Dartmouth tonight, but then I guess the other question is if city has preference over the Hampden on those areas, or if you want to have maybe Public Works take a look at Oxford, look at both as welcoming and see which is a preference if we need to get those done sooner than later with that funding.
I'll meet with Chris Hargeth, our communications director, and talk to him about that. The next item is Hampden medians, and we are struggling with colors in CDOT. And so the concern with Hampden might be colors. I mean, we can avoid it obviously, but that's been one of the biggest challenges in working with CDOT is just getting their approval with colors for the art. So yeah, let me talk to him. I'll talk to Public Works. We'll work on the Dartmouth mural call and this other one that they just presented. And then if the next meeting, we'll have some updates for Oxford and Hampden.
Yeah, because personally, I think it would be really cool to have both ends, you know, to have a couple places like at Hampden, which right now we have the median art, Dartmouth, it'd spice up that area, and then it would be nice to also give Oxford some love, and that would kind of hit major points of how people in the city. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? Cool, and then do you want to give us a quick update on Hampden?
Still working on it. Debbie's doing a good job staying in touch with Public Works, and they're helping us with contact with CDOT. They can't pin me down piece with the balls on top. The colors keep changing. Communications department, we have some gateway art, and they're getting denied on two colors, red and green, and they're just little squiggly things that come into the art, and they're saying could be a traffic control issue. They're very minimal, and so are ours. And so we're just trying to navigate CDOT, and obviously we wanted these installed last year, and we're still working through the process. So, did you have anything else from Josh? Or
No, no. I mean, we're working on it. It's just,
CDOT's a little bit of a
crazy
challenge.
process.
What we've learned is all their engineers, many of their engineers have moved on, and they have one left in the whole state. And that's who can approve these types of art projects. So good to know for this other call that we have out now, we might be installing this time next year if we approve it this summer. So it's definitely a process, but worst case scenario, just as an update too, if for some reason this gets held up in CDOT, we'll say another 2 months, it might be worth looking at maybe putting these pieces of art somewhere else in the city.
That's what I was wondering, is we had 3 on Hampden. Were there any other gateway areas that had been delegated? Well, I guess the ones that we had talked about weren't happening because they were like overpasses at Broadway.
We can look and see like what other options there are. Maybe it's not median art, maybe they do go. We've got a pedestal here in the amphitheater. It's just a concrete pedestal that MRA had art on, and they took their art down to Fiddler's Green. And so it's just a blank pedestal. So that might be another location for art that's raised a little bit that would be somewhat safe.
Even on, I'm like, the Rainbow Point was in downtown Loveland, like you could walk by it. And I feel like Englewood, we don't have as much like walkable art in areas that people are in. So that might be something to consider too, is like, could it be a welcome piece into downtown Englewood or where they're doing the redevelopment, or again, where MOA left, like all of that could be really cool as a different way to
The
engage
wellness
with that.
corridor, we don't really have anything in there.
We had a horse.
The old Hampden old Hampden got to all get redone. We're adding a meeting in the middle and a gateway, so that will all be happening in the next couple of years. But also the duck pond, that's
That's another location. And if you're out and about in the city and see a space that might make sense for art, just mark the location, make a note of it, and then we can look up to see ownership and what the options might be for that type of location as well.
I love that idea of the wellness, especially if it's getting redeveloped, because that would be our streets, right? That's not CDOT if we do that street.
There we
So
go.
we got an incredible, huge grant from Dr. Cog to do a complete redevelopment to make it complete streets. So there will be new walkways and bikeways and green strips and landscape and really like lovely within the next year, 18 months.
Yeah.
Years.
Probably by next summer.
Yeah.
Following summer.
So that incorporates some of those empty parking lots that are down there, like, I don't know if they're Swedish or Craig, but they don't allow anyone to park in there, but there's nothing over there.
The ones on the Gerard side, I know that those belong to Sweden, or I think one to Craig on the Gerard side. And they also have that park space that I know EDDA is working to activate off of Old Hampton.
Awesome.
Okay, so
We'll keep you updated each month.
Maybe if you decide by April, we'll start moving forward with other options,
Okay.
if that seems reasonable to you, or if you want to keep seeing with CDOT.
Well, yeah, April sounds very reasonable because that's another couple months of work.
See if we can.
Our city engineer is now concerned with Rainbow Point, and colors need to be matte. And Rainbow Point has that iridescent ball.
The rainbow glare
That's
in
why I love
traffic.
it. It's like so beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and then the red on it, so he's concerned about that now, so.
And we have lots of parks too. I mean,
Oh, yeah, the
art
parks
and
are
parks
great.
can always work for us, and that's an easy approval process, so
You know someone?
I do.
Okay, so options in the future.
Good idea.
I guess too, just with the city is just like if there's a preference for parks, or to me, it sounded like we wanted to beautify where people were coming. So maybe, I don't know if that's the part, but any of those would be.
I mean, dressing up medians is always fun because they're kind of blah. I mean, there's landscaping, but this time of year, they're not fun to look at. So having pretty art in there is nice. It changes it, maybe changes moods because of art. People are happier. So that's the goal. But obviously, if this is going to be a drawn out process and we're sitting in October and having the same
For
conversation.
20 years.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate it's taken this long. That was not our goal. We thought they'd be installed by now, so.
Or additional costs, because now we're now getting quotes for traffic control if we have to hire somebody, so.
It's becoming more complex. So by April, we'll keep you updated up until then, and we'll make a decision in April if we want to choose something different.
And maybe this is just the time to talk around the city where backup.
Well, it'd be good to identify places anyways, because we're going to keep purchasing art as time goes on and need locations for it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be interesting too, Christina, to go back and look at the wayfinding plan and to see, based on what we've learned, like what could go in the medians to then inform the future work of
Oh,
this
for sure.
commission. Like, is it something that's maybe like really cool, but it's like iron and it's all one color and it's all matte, or like what are the things, because beautifying that Hampton piece is still like on the list, but it'd be interesting to reevaluate
Sure.
now that we know.
What's interesting is like the grasses up on the north side are green. I'm like, but it's probably a time and place where it just got put in and good to go.
Grandfathered
No
in.
approvals were
No,
needed.
it was the
so-
engineer at the time.
Yeah, so it's been a little difficult. So yeah, that's,
Not maintained by CDOT, Broadway.
wasn't Broadway that's
We
considered.
maintain Broadway.
We do.
Maybe that's.
CDOT maintains Hampton, that's the problem. It's because it's
Yeah.
in state highway.
That's how our Christmas tree, our Christmas weed.
We were just gonna sneak out there some night and just pop it
CAC at it again. It's like Banksy, right?
Exactly. Oh.
Reese, I see your future.
Yes.
Oh.
We can say it
The
was
whole
Banksy.
giant.
Nobody's gonna say it wasn't.
That's true.
Okay, upcoming events.
Our first event, I think it's 43 days away. Not that I'm counting. But March 23rd is the Hop and Shop, which is also the egg hunt element. So it's the market and the egg hunt is at Bellevue Park by the Farm and Train, and it's gonna be great. We have tons of sponsors or vendors that have already come in, and it's, I don't think there's gonna be anything new or different about it, except for it's 2024. So no, it'll be great. We'll have the visits with the bunny and the different age groups and accessibility hunt and some food trucks and fun stuff. And then off to the races from there. It's our kickoff, so.
And our calendar for all events is on the website. It has been posted, and you can check that out to see all the dates. It's a long list. It's exciting.
It's a lot, but a lot of opportunity this year, so.
Staff's choice.
Beth, do you have any updates? Beth, are you still there?
Okay,
Okay.
you all? No? Okay. Commissioner's choice.
Sorry, I am here and I just accidentally closed my Teams, but I didn't have anything to add.
The only thing I would add is this is my last meeting because I will be missing at least 5 meetings this year, and I don't think it's really fair to be part of something that you're not part of. So apparently I was telling Kyle, I was like, who knew that the first Wednesday of each month was gonna be in such high demand, but so goes life. But I'll be following from afar. And by that I mean, just watch the videos.
You paint a tile.
I can paint a tile.
To be with Harry's time.
Well, thank you, Reese.
You're welcome. Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
your service.
I'll miss you guys.
You always know where we are, so.
On Wednesdays, the
Yes.
first Wednesday of the month, specifically.
We'll expect appearances occasionally.
Oh, yeah, I will. I'll do my best.
Liar.
We have public comment? Yes.
Okay, I don't have anything else, so I think, Chelsea.
I don't have anything specific, but I will just share that our city council met for the annual retreat on January 27th, where we look at the strategic plan and the vision for the year coming up. We've got 2 new council members, so meeting together as that group. And one thing that I think is relevant to this commission is that we added a new section to our strategic plan for the city that we are calling community engagement. So what used to be called neighborhoods is now nestled under a larger umbrella of community engagement, which includes things like a citywide identity, which is what you see in Uniquely Englewood, and just more, I think, robust and intentional work around city communication. Events will fall into that. How do we really have a more thoughtful and holistic strategy when it comes to how we engage citizens? And so as you all are thinking about events and engagement and art, I think it's something that we can continue to plug into that. And so just know that from the city council perspective, it's a very high priority, and we're excited about it. So excited to see you guys be part of it.
Cool. I think we're adjourned. Excellent. Great. Good work. Thank you.
Aw.
And welcome to the commission.
Yeah.
Your first meeting.
Yeah, that was a content one. Content. Lots of money was spent.